that tight.
They not this tight, because I could just pull them straight up. Oh, there it is. It gets like colder for a second.
I don't see this. I don't see this.
Oh, there it is. Live. Camera action. Showtime.
All right, let's make this a little more aesthetically pleasing.
Aesthetically.
Yeah, man. I took a little time. You know what I'm saying? Had a little party over there.
It's a parade inside my city. My phone's down.
All right.
Don't let me step on it, bro.
Fold them up, baby.
I don't know how to fold it out.
Test it real quick.
Alright. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
What's good? It's your boy Hollywood Chuck. I'm back with Ryan. How you pronounce your last name?
Rasul.
Ryan Rasul, double R, and and Ramona J Smith,
Yes.
world champion, international world champion speaker of public speaking.
Yes.
2018 Toastmasters 2018. And I'm happy that you're here today, and you brought Ryan with you.
Yes.
And Ryan has a business, Handz Academy. And greatness follows. He's following greatness from his mom and his dad. Greatness is in the family, of course. And so, Ramona, you originally started in poetry.
Yes.
Was that your first public speaking engagement with audiences?
Not necessarily. It was one that I started to get the most familiar with.
Okay.
So as a young person, I just love to be in front of the crowd, like whether it's hosting talent shows, like in middle school or in junior high or church. You know, we all had to do the Easter speeches and stuff at church. So I just always loved to be in front of the audience. I always loved to perform. But once I got hip to poetry, it just felt natural, and so I kind of started to do that on a more consistent basis.
And that was the Ladybug speaker,
Yes,
right?
that was just Ladybug.
Ladybug. Okay. And so what? In your when coming up in your earlier years, you just was always in front. Wanted to speak, wanted to be in front of crowds and things like that. And so what was your first speaking engagement where you knew you was like, this is what I really want to do?
Oh, that's a good question. So for me, it wasn't actually getting on the stage that gave me that feeling. It was being in the audience. So every time I was in the audience listening to a speaker or watching someone perform,
right,
it was this feeling that it'd be like, no, you're not doing it right. Like, you need to do this, or no, I should be up there. So that's how I knew I wanted to pursue the speaking. So it wasn't necessarily me getting on the stage. It was the feeling that I got when I wasn't on the stage, because I knew I belonged on the stage.
So you was more so like a fan of public speaking?
Not even a fan of public speaking, but there was just, before you know your purpose and your passion, you get like little tugs, little nudges, and I think that was just the universe nudging me towards the speaking and things like that, because growing up, I didn't really know what public speaking was. We didn't call it public speaking. We called it preaching, or we called it just a talk, or, it was just, it was pretty much religion and politics. Those were the speakers. I didn't really know a lot of people who were speakers outside of, religion and politics.
So you say you didn't know really a lot of speakers outside of religion and politics. So it was like breaking a barrier almost to be able to start doing poetry, and then getting into the speaking. And so when did you get into the public speaking aspect of it? Because I know you went from poetry and then you branched off into the public speaking. So when did you get serious about the public speaking?
That was after I went to LA.
Okay.
So once I moved to LA, the poetry was kind of like the gateway that got me into the door, because when I was thinking about doing more motivational speaking, people got to know who you are. They have to know who you are. They're not just going to be like, hey, come in here and give a keynote. But they will let you give a 2-minute poem. So that was kind of like my gateway into it. But when I was in LA, I started to realize what my purpose was. And that's when I wrote my first book, Shine Sister Shine. And I started to feel like I wanted to do something more than just the poetry. And so that's when I started to try to just kind of wiggle my way into giving speeches. And that's also when I joined Toastmasters.
Okay, and so I remember when you went to LA and you came back and you was like, yeah, you know, it was a tough out there.
Oh, yes.
It was tough, but it built character.
Absolutely. And then this was before Ryan. So Ryan, we're going to get to you. I know you waiting.
Oh, this was before Ryan?
Oh, yes. Ryan came after I came back from LA. That's when Ryan got here. So all this was before he was even here.
Wow.
But LA, you know, being from Cleveland, and I didn't really go to a whole lot of different places back then. I was a Cleveland girl. So my perception of LA was, I'm about to go out here and I'm about to make it, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to blow up. And you have this fantasy in your mind about Hollywood because it's what you see on TV. You don't have any friends who are out there telling you what it's really
So
like.
you just went out to LA?
Yes. I bought a one-way ticket and I sold everything and I stayed.
Well, you thought you was Bone Thugs?
Look. Right? I was just living the dream.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't have any children at the time. It was just me, and I was young, and I just wanted to try something new. But it was real when I got out there. I had never heard about Skid Row.
Yeah.
I had never heard about all the people who go out there and they just kind of fall in the cracks because that's the hub of acting and modeling. So you going out there, you might shine in a small town. Like Cleveland is a big city, but it's a small town at the same time. You can shine out here when you get out there, and it's hundreds of thousands of women that are more beautiful, taller, more experienced.
It's all out there.
It's all out there. So it was a reality check for me.
And so you said that you went out to LA and you wrote your first book, Shine Sister Shine.
Yes.
And what was Shine Sister Shine about?
A coming of age book for women in search of their life's purpose, because I found my purpose when I was out there away from distractions, and when I was out there in nature more, in the mountains, and the ocean was right up the street, so I was able to really get in tune with who I was. And that, for me, that was like my coming of age. That was my rite of passage, because you know, we don't really do a whole lot of that in our community. We don't have like a ceremony that says, okay, now you're a woman.
You off.
Exactly. So for me, that was my rite of passage. That's when I found myself, and I was so inspired that I just had to write a book about it.
Yeah. And how long did you stay out in LA?
Almost a year. Not too long.
Not too long. You were like, no, I got a taste of it. Let me get back to hometown.
Yes, and then I was still dating his dad.
Okay.
So we were still back and forth, and it was just like, you know, it's not working out the way I wanted to. I just want to come home and just be back in my comfort zone.
Okay. So his father's from LA?
No, his father's from out here.
Okay. So you just came back home. You like, yeah, I gotta come to the arms to the one that loves me.
Period.
For real, you know.
Period. And then a month later, this guy came.
Right. So you go out to LA, you write your book, and then you start speaking at Toastmasters.
Yes.
What was the introduction to Toastmasters, and you know, how did you get involved?
So my sister told me about Toastmasters because she said one time she was giving a speech and she used the word like 30 times, and it's a crush word or a filler word, and somebody said, hey, consider joining this organization. So when I moved to LA and I told her, like, I have these dreams of being a speaker and I want to speak, she said, go to Toastmasters to sharpen your skills. Yes.
Okay.
So she introduced me.
Shout out to Big Sis.
Yes.
Shout out to Big Sis.
Yes. So she started the whole Toastmasters thing for me. And then I joined that organization, and it helped me to sharpen my skills as a speaker, because a lot of us are used to growing up in the church, and in the church you speak from the heart. Oh, baby, share your testimony. Yeah. But you can't do that in a professional setting. One, because you're going to ramble, you're going to go over time. Two, because it's not organized and structured. And three, you're going to have those filler words, the the ohs, the you knows, the so's. So you got to get polished. And that's what I got from Toastmasters, the polish.
So let me ask you a question. How do you get over the the ahs, the things like that? How do you create a space where you're comfortable to be able to speak?
Number one,
without saying those things.
You work with a coach like me. You hire,
First of all,
you hire a coach like me who is a speaker who does this, who's been doing this for a very long time. You practice for an hour a week with me. That's all you need. And we'll go over some best practices and some solutions and some extemporaneous speaking to help you to eliminate those filler words. Secondly, you have to practice. You have to practice and you have
makes
to be aware.
perfect.
Absolutely. You have to practice and be aware of the words that you're using. So not only just practice the speeches, but record yourself. I'm actually on the board of this amazing new app called Udly, and it's an app that helps you become a better public speaker.
Udly?
Udly, Yoodli, and it's AI, so it's artificial intelligence that helps you to improve your public speaking skills. So get with a coach and practice.
So Toastmasters was a stage where you developed your public speaking and became a world-class public speaker.
Kind of. So Toastmasters helped me build the foundation and the fundamentals. But I have a natural skill to be able to express myself, to be able to connect with an audience, and to be able to give that charisma and that excitement and that inspiration. So a mixture of the two. Because just because you join Toastmasters, it doesn't mean that you're just going to be this.
You gotta have it in you.
If you want to take it to a certain level.
Right.
So for me, it was it was a little effortless because I did have kind of that skill set already. I just had to sharpen it and polish it.
So what was the situation where you was in Toastmasters and then you became this champion of speaking? What was the steps to that?
Mm-hmm. So every year Toastmasters has several different competitions. They have public speaking contests for humor and for elaborate stories and for evaluating speeches. And then they have the international speech contest. So these happen once or twice a year, but the international speech contest happens once every single year. So you have to be a member and then you have to compete on several different levels. So once you become a member of Toastmasters, you have to meet a certain criteria. You have to have a certain amount of speeches under your belt. Then you can compete in the contest. So you'll compete at the club level. Mm-hmm. That means you compete with your club members, whatever club you belong to. So you'll probably compete against maybe 3, 4, I would say 8 or 10 at the most ever. But usually it's maybe about 3 or 4 other people. Then you win at that level. From there, you compete against the winners in all those clubs in your area. So it's the club contest, then it's the area contest, then it's the division contest, then it's the district contest, and then it's the regionals.
You said it's 8 levels?
When I did it, I think it was 6. So it was club, area, division, district, semifinals, then finals. So for me, it was 6 rounds, but I think now it's 7. So you have to win at all these different levels. And then the best speakers in the world, because usually about 30,000 or more people compete from all the clubs of Toastmasters all over the world. The top 10 or 8 or 9 of them compete on the final stage, and the one winner from all those people become the world champion.
So let me ask you a question. So what were you speaking about that was so powerful that you won?
I was sharing my life story. I talked about all the failures I experienced. So my speech was called Still Standing. And it's just about persistence and resilience. And no matter how many times life will try to knock you down, you got to stand or you got to get back up. So I talked about 3 rounds. The thing was boxing. You remember? The thing was boxing. And I talked about 3 rounds of my life where at first I was losing, then I came back to win. So the first round was college. The second round was speaking. No, the second round was marriage. And the third round was speaking. So I just talked about all the times I failed in those areas, and then I came back and talked about all the ways where I was triumphant in those areas.
Wow. So you just gave your life story on so was it like different audiences from this competition where you started at a lower level audience and then as the competition got more fierce, the audience became more greater? So
the big final speech is at the Toastmasters International Convention.
And where is that located?
It's different every year. This past year it was in the Bahamas. When I competed, it was in Chicago.
Okay.
So every year somewhere it's a different city.
The urban community, downtown Chicago? Where was it located?
It was downtown Chicago. It was at like a big hotel in downtown Chicago.
Where everybody could basically reach and come out.
But it's for Toastmasters.
Yeah. So anybody couldn't come?
No.
So you got to be a member.
You have if you're not a member, you still have to register and pay to come to the event.
Okay.
So it being that world champion is in that realm of Toastmasters. It's the Toastmasters International World Champion of Public Speaking. It's not like the World Champion of Public Speaking against anybody in the world. It's in the Toastmasters world.
Okay, in the Toastmasters world. And so Toastmasters is pretty big with public speaking. And what are some of the other things that they do?
Leadership.
Just
leadership and public speaking.
Okay.
Those are the two things.
And you originally got into public speaking because you want to inspire people.
Yes.
That was one of your main reasons for being a public speaker.
And to be on stage because I like the attention.
Shine, sister, shine. You did. And what was some of your top speeches? What's one of your favorite speeches?
Still Standing is one of my favorites.
Still Standing is one
Absolutely.
of your favorites.
Another one of my favorites is the one I've been doing a lot lately. It is what every businesswoman must know about public speaking, where I share 5 tips for businesswomen to embrace speaking.
Give us 2.
2 what?
Tips.
Oh, 2 tips. So it's a seminar in which people usually purchase a registration. So I'm not going to give away too much, but I will say,
give us one then.
You are a speaker.
Okay.
You are a speaker because I know that there are a lot of women who are business owners, but you turn down a lot of opportunities to speak. You are asked to speak at conferences or events or be on panels. You're like, nah, I'm not really a speaker. You know, I'm just a business owner. They are almost synonymous.
Yeah.
If you run a business, my sister, you are a speaker. Just combine the two. And so that's one of the main things I want businesswomen to understand. And on the flip side, if you are a speaker, you are a businesswoman. Because I didn't consider myself a businesswoman for a long time. I consider myself a speaker. But we have to step up in both of those areas and start to build both of those strengths as women in business and women who are speakers.
And so you are a trainer and a coach.
Yes.
And so is it a specific name of the class that you teach?
Well, it varies. So I do one for the kiddos. Like Ryan did the Speakers on the Rise. That was during the pandemic. That was.
And we're gonna get into you. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into you in a minute. I know you get antsy over there. I see. We're gonna get with you in a minute.
So Ryan did Speakers on the Rise, and that's for the kiddos. That was ages 11 to 14. And then I do the just like a basic public speaking course to help you, like the essentials of public speaking, the essentials and fundamentals of public speaking for people who just maybe they're entry level and they don't really know a whole lot about it, where we kind of go over what it means to be a speaker, why you want to be a speaker.
You got one coming up?
Well, I have one coming up on 18. Yes, that is, I believe that Scale Up Startup Speak Up. Now, that is for people who are kind of already establishing themselves as professional speakers, but they don't have those necessary, I would call it, they don't have the toolkit. So they don't have a speaker one sheet. They don't have a bio. They don't have any headshots. They don't have a keynote. So we go over all those things, and it's like a boot camp, basically, for you to get that toolkit together for when you do reach out to people, and they say, hey, give me your bio, give me your one sheet. Do you have a reel? Do you have a demo? And you be like, no.
You gotta have established. You gotta be established yourself on kind of like on paper a little bit or digitally somewhat. So I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. And in 2018, we're gonna go back to 2018. In 2018, you became the world champion speaker for Toastmasters.
Yes.
So once you won the championship, it seems like you start going around the country, the world.
The world, and then the country.
Yeah. You start going around the world. And so where was the first place that you landed, and why did they choose for you to go there?
The first place was Dubai. That was the first place. And Dubai is a type of place where they just do it big. So Dubai wants to be the first, they want to be the fastest, they want to be the biggest.
Right.
So they wanted to be the first one to get the newest world champion to come and speak to the people in there.
Did they come with that bag?
You cannot get the bag in Toastmasters.
You cannot get the
It
bag.
is a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
But the things that you get outside of it, there you
Help
go.
get you the bag.
Absolutely, for sure, definitely. But in Toastmasters, when you become the world champion, you cannot get paid. You cannot get paid if, let me say it like this. If a Toastmasters group or club invites you to speak at their group or club or district events, they cannot pay you. They'll pay for your travel, your hotel, your meal, your ground transportation, but they cannot say, here's a check for $25,000 for speaking. But anything outside of Toastmasters or your programs, your books, your courses.
All that's you.
Yes, all that
You
is
can
you.
do that.
But they will not cut you a check to be the keynote speaker. That's not going to happen.
Okay. But they're going to give you worldwide exposure.
Absolutely.
Universal exposure.
Absolutely. The exposure was what was how I was able to build my business.
So when you went to Dubai and they flew you out to Dubai, how did you feel about that? What was the feeling inside of you when you won and they was like started calling you? Because did you win and you knew you was going to be going worldwide, or did you win and then that phone call started coming?
The latter. Once I won, the call started coming in, because when you win, first of all, you don't know. It's unexpected. And second of all, they don't hand you a manual and say, here, this is what you do now. You
Right.
either take the red pill or the blue pill. And I took the pill, whichever one, I don't remember. But whichever one says I'm going to the Matrix, that's the one I took. I didn't take the safe route.
Yeah, you went straight to the top with it.
Absolutely. But like you said, when I
Literally.
Right. I'm from Cleveland. So when them calls start coming in from all the different countries, I'm like, nah, like, scam, like.
Really?
Right? I mean, come on now. If somebody called your phone right now, you never went anywhere, like, and somebody was like, hey, they want you to come to Abu Dhabi, like, would you be like, all right? Or you be like,
I mean, it's me though, but this is me. But you know what I'm saying. I probably would be like, yeah. But for the person like just coming up, because I've been doing what I've been doing for a while.
True.
So I've been,
True. Right.
I ain't been out of the country for what I've been doing, but I've been over the United States doing what I've been doing. So like I do get through phone calls internationally. I'll probably be like, well, you know, I'm gonna grill them for sure.
Exactly.
I'm definitely gonna grill them now.
That part.
Now, I'm gonna definitely be suspicious of who is calling me, talk about, do you want to come to Dubai? Mm-hmm. Nah, I am gonna do that. Mm-hmm. You know, and being very excited at the same time.
It was bittersweet at first.
How long did you stay?
Oh, I was in Dubai for a week and a half. It was a long time. It was a while.
A week and a half was long? It felt long.
Heck yeah.
Being all the way from somewhere, and you was there by yourself.
No. So I traveled by myself, but once I got there, I had a whole PR team.
Oh.
So they had it was Jyotika and Priti and Balaji.
Shout out to them.
Yes, yeah. And Jyotika had the most beautiful Porsche I had ever seen. Oh my God, and just
a Porsche.
Oh my goodness, Porsche.
That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
And that's what they carried. Your carriage was while you was there.
Yes. So I mean, when I was overseas.
Top.
Look.
Best.
Yes, that's how.
Treated you like a queen.
Man.
That you are.
The gifts. Showered with gifts and the banners and the people, and they were like really fans. Like I feel like I was Beyonce. Every time I go overseas, they treat me with so much respect. And then I would come back to the States and I would go to an event and they wouldn't even have nowhere for me to sit.
And it'd be like,
and I started to get a little arrogant. I did. Like, look, I just came back from all these countries. I'm sitting with the royals. I'm having tea with kings. Yeah. And y'all ain't got nowhere for me to sit. Like
what's up? Like, I'm going to have to stop coming and kicking it with y'all.
Right?
Because y'all know how to treat them. But, you know what I'm saying? And I had that same conversation with somebody the other day, you know, and we got to start doing better with that. And so you went to Dubai, and what speech did you give Dubai?
Dubai just wanted to hear about my experience. They wanted to know, how do I become the next world champion? What do I need to do to get to where you are?
They want to know.
Yes.
So you became a teacher.
Absolutely.
Internationally.
Yes.
Worldwide.
Yes.
Wow. This is huge. This is phenomenal. This is massive, you know, to be able to come from Cleveland, come from the neighborhood you come from, and to be able to speak your truth, talk about your life, and people love it internationally, you know.
Yeah.
And so, what was your next stop?
Oman.
Oman. Where's that located?
That's down around Saudi Arabia. So this is all the Middle East.
Was you nervous?
A little bit, but not too much. Oh, thank you, baby. A little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, not too much.
Because you know,
They had groomed you for this
no
Toastmasters, or you just was like, this is in me.
This is in me. This is my dream. This is what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to travel the world speaking, and so I'm like, wherever I go, that's where I'm supposed to be. So I just followed it.
That is live.
And it worked out. I mean, you know, because a lot of people have bad experiences, especially when, like, I know a lot of girls are going to Dubai now and they getting locked up or they getting in trouble. But that wasn't what I was there for. I was walking in my purpose. So I didn't get flued out by some random dude. It was really legit business.
It was all real
Yes.
business,
Yes.
honest business,
Yes.
and it all had a connection.
Yes.
It wasn't just, I'm just going out here to speak. It was like, these people want me out here to speak.
To add value.
They want Ramona.
Yes, and not just me, but my experience with public speaking, because Toastmasters for a lot of people overseas, it is a way for them to learn a new language, which opens opportunities for career moves and education, and it's life-changing. So people are soaking up this knowledge because it's helping them to have a better life. And it's adding value to their lives. It's not just entertainment. It's, okay, what do I do to get better? It's professional development.
And so do you have online courses? Do you have online courses?
So I'm working on an online course now on Coursera. And that'll be launching probably alongside my podcast in January. But right now I do a lot of this one-on-one.
Right. And so they can call you.
Oh, yes.
Or contact you on social media, or go to your website, RamonaJSmith.com.
Yes, RamonaJSmith.com. Everything is on the website. Because right now we're in the middle of our 40 Days of I Am Challenge. And that's strictly internal, and that's strictly working on your self-confidence. And it's beautiful. We're on day 15 right now, and the transformations are phenomenal because you got to start within. Because if you ain't right within, you ain't going to be right on the outside. So that's what we're in the middle of right now.
Okay. And so have you ever had a student come back to you and say, I just want to thank you for teaching me, giving me the confidence to be able to speak and just grow into public speaking?
Absolutely. I have my testimonials on Instagram. A lot, and mostly it's women, because a lot of women, we shy away and we don't walk into that strength, and we don't walk confidently into our gifts. And so when you work with me, I bring that out of you. So it's a lot of women that come back and say, hey, I did this because I work with you, or hey, I'm so empowered because I work with you. Let's put a pin in this, because my son over here yawning. You yawn like 3 times. Can we pivot real quick?
Okay, so we're going to get into Ryan Rasul. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
And so you got Little Handz Academy.
Yes.
Basketball. You teach K through second. And you've been doing that for
almost a year.
And so obviously you got skills. You were showing me a couple videos where you had handles and you was dunking and things like that. And so where did your passion for sports come from?
Mostly passed on from my dad. He played ball in college, D1. He was pretty good, and I always wanted to be just like him. Ever since I was older, I wanted to be just like him. And now I just follow his footsteps, listen. He always tell me just one thing: listen and silent is the same word. So you gotta make sure you listening and getting gifts from God, and listening and being a good player, respect the game.
Right, and you love your dad and respect your dad, and so that's why you follow in his footsteps, and you followed his footsteps to the point where you created a business.
Yes, sir. He has middle school all-star game, Just a Chance. He gives youth. They have great potential. In fact, Chris Livingston, you heard of him?
The basketball player
in the NBA now. He was a Jack alumni. He played in the all-star game. He's in the league now.
Okay.
That's the first Jack that's in the league, and I'm just trying to be just like him.
So let me ask you a question. What's a Jack?
A Jack stands for Just a Chance. So a Jack alumni would be somebody a Jack boss. That's somebody that inspires people to be great, not weak.
Okay. And so your dad has the Little League team that he coaches.
All-Star game he hosted.
The All-Star game he hosts, and you have Little Handz Academy. And what's some of the skills that you use to enhance people's basketball abilities?
So basic drills, basic ball handling. So dribbling the ball really low, ball protection, because if you just have the ball out like this, it's easily getting stole or plucked. So mostly conditioning, staying in shape, that's the most important thing I think. You have to be in shape to really play the game. And eye coordination drills, so maybe passing to each other, maybe they know how to catch, and simple ball handling drills.
Who's some of your favorite basketball players, some of your inspirations in the NBA?
All time or just currently?
Name your list.
So we all know Jordan.
Let's do a mixture.
Jordan is the GOAT.
Jordan, you like Jordan better than you think Jordan better than LeBron?
Yes.
It's coming from a young man.
And it's evidence too that he's better. But
statistically,
he has more scoring titles and defensive all teams, and he has a DPOY.
And what's that?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
And LeBron, he has less than him in that. Just because he's the all-time leader scorer and all, but he's played more. He played longer than Jordan.
Okay. So Jordan is your favorite player of all time.
Definitely.
Your favorite player of all time. That's what's up. So you watch his game. You watch his highlights. Some of his old games.
I watched the flu game. I like that flu game. That inspired me. And Kobe Bryant, when he tore his Achilles, but he still played through it.
Yeah.
He tore it 3 times or 2 times, something crazy.
So showing you resilience. Strength, confidence. And not to be weak. What position do you play?
Point guard or shooting guard.
Point guard, shooting guard. So you play for a team as of right now.
Fall league. I'm playing for 7th grade, but I'm in the 6th grade. Play for my dad's team. He made a team.
So you really good to be able to play with a grade ahead of you.
Getting better.
Get better.
Getting better every day.
Yeah. What's some of the things that you like outside of basketball?
I like my business. I like focusing on Plan B. If basketball doesn't work out the way I planned it to, then I can always go to Plan B. I can always go to business. I like to focus on that. Education, I want to expand that too.
Yeah.
I want to get a diploma. If I do 1 year of college and go to the league, I think that would be good too because I still get a year education. But I do want that degree though.
So what do you want a degree in?
Maybe criminal justice or.
We need more lawyers.
Maybe.
You would be an outstanding lawyer.
I think I might do that. And there's so many other things I could do, but I don't know. I'm really focused on criminal justice.
He's a speaker too.
Yeah, I see. Little Handz Academy, and you say you started it when? Started the business
November 2022. That's when we did our first thing on the news, Channel 3.
And Channel 3 and NBC Nightly News as well. Shout out to Margaret Bernstein.
Wasn't that on?
Shout out to Margaret Bernstein,
News?
That's NBC Nightly News, yes. That was national.
So, soon as you started the business, they interviewed you?
Well, the first thing we did, we had a idea. We just popped into our head. Then we made it official. We had to do some paperwork, right? We had to
Well, you have to file the paper for the LLC.
Yeah, the certificate of article organization.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yes, the first thing we did, the first workout or session we did was on the news. They recorded us doing it on the news.
So how did they get wind to your business?
Margaret Bernstein.
Yes. Yeah. She can find talent anywhere.
She big time.
She is amazing. That's my mentor.
She won a Nobel Peace Prize award for, right? What was it?
She won so many awards. She won a couple Emmys. She's won Outstanding Service for Big Brothers Big Sisters. She's just an angel. And she's shined so much light on me and my son. And she's the reason why he was able to speak at the National Ependymoma Conference in D.C. So he gave a speech there about his cancer. That he's a cancer survivor.
Oh yeah.
So he was able to give a speech about that.
That's what's up, man. Glad to have you here. And what made you want to start a business and teach kids?
Well,
teach kids younger than you?
I had a camp. I was in the first grade. My dad, we took a train. We took like 2 trains to Connecticut, this camp at this college, and I loved it so much. I was in love with it.
Yeah.
Because my dad, he knew all these people and all these coaches, and we stayed in a hotel for Connecticut for about like the weekend, and we had a nice camp. They would provide snacks, lunches.
It was like a baller's heaven, huh?
It was. And I was shooting, and then after that, I'll go with my friends that I made. We have a whole pool, and then we go in my room, maybe eat some snacks, and then we wake up and just do it all over again. Keep hooping and getting better. And I just wanted to do that for other people. I wanted them to feel the same joy that I had.
That's
So
what's
what I
up.
started.
How important is it to have your mom and your dad in your life?
It's important because some people they might not have a role model. If they don't have their mom or their dad, they might not have a solid role model, nobody to look up to.
Yeah.
They might have bad influence, like rappers or something. They just might grow up around violence and stuff, and they need a mom or dad to guide them.
Well, it's definitely safe to say that Ryan is following his mother and his dad's footsteps, doing great things with Little Handz Academy. Is it something that you want the people to know about Little Handz Academy? How they can reach you, how they can contact you and get their kids involved?
My mom and my dad,
Coach Russell
Coach Russell at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact him on Gmail, send him an email, get your kid registered. We'll see if we can do something. Just stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused. Make sure y'all come on out. Is there anything that you would like to say before we get out of here? Let the people know where they can reach you. I know you got the website, but like, can they call you direct or anything like that?
Everything's on the website. Even my phone number's on the website. So the
Ramona
website,
J Smith. Just go to
Ramona J Smith.
Google that.
You can trust me. You can Google it. She's everywhere. But on
Big time.
On a more serious note, this is a result of co-parenting and positive co-parenting. Now,
talk about it.
His father and I are in 2 different cities. I'm in Houston, his father is in Cleveland. This man has been taking care of our son for 6 years full time. And that is not by force, that is by love, and that is by collaboration. Because
sure.
I know a lot of moms, you're not gonna let your son, this is my only child, my firstborn son, you're not gonna let him go with dad because you wanna hold on. But if you have a good, solid, educated, dedicated, loving man in your kid's life, especially your boys, give them a chance.
How rewarding is that to you to have somebody in your life like that? How rewarding is that?
It's priceless.
And how do you, and I'm glad you brought that up, how do you have a confidence in the man? Because it seems like women lack confidence to let their children around the father. Even though we had this kid, it's like, this is my kid still, so where do the confidence come?
For me, we have a very special situation because one, we're older. So we don't have a lot of the bickering, a lot of the emotions. We both have moved on in our lives as far as emotional connections and soul ties. We're going to leave it at that. So we're not soul tying no more. We're going to leave it at that. But at the same time, this man is educated. This man is a dedicated educator. I met him because he invited me to come speak to his kids at the school he was teaching at. So he's not a deadbeat. He's not a bum. And I was lucky enough to have a child with a responsible man. Now, was he my spouse and my perfect match as far as a romantic relationship? No. But he was an outstanding father, and we have some similar experiences where his dad traveled overseas to play basketball. So when I started to travel overseas, he was like, I get it. I can relate to that because I did it. So he said, you go travel the world, I got it. Like, leave them to me.
Let me ask you another question. Let me get my word together. So his dad has been raising him. He's the main parent in the situation instead of both of y'all the main parent, but he stays with his dad
for the past 6 years.
And how important is it for a young man to be with their father?
to be with a good, dedicated, loving, responsible, working, professional, educated father. Very important. I'm not saying just drop the kid off with the dad. This was a mutually beneficial situation. It was mutual. So I didn't say, hey, I'm traveling, take your son. It was an understanding of, hey, I'm in a situation where I work at the school. He goes to school where his father is a PE teacher. So like I said, we have a different type of situation.
I know what I want to ask you. How important is public speaking? How important was knowing how to articulate yourself in your relationship with a man? How important was that? And did it play a role in your relationship to be able to communicate with his father to be at this point?
Absolutely. And ladies, one thing we have to understand and we have to get to know is what is a man and what does a man need as far as communication. A man doesn't need the rah. They don't want to be belittled, and I know it's hard because we don't have dads to teach us this. So we have to learn the hard way. But for me, I learned that the better relationship that me and him have, the better relationship that the trio has. So a man needs respect, and he has to give it to get it. But somebody's got to take the lead. So if we both arguing and the reason why we didn't work out is because when I was younger, it was a clash of the titans. I was competing and I was combative. Yeah. But as I got older and I started to gain more respect for myself and for him, communication in a healthy, effective way is actually going to get you what you want in most situations. So
you get more bees with honey, they say.
Exactly. So if you can understand what he's saying, and if you can listen to what he's saying and not act out of emotion or scream out of emotion. And it's hard. I know it's hard. But y'all to be able to start to build a relationship out of respect, and the dynamic of your relationship will start to change, because he's going to be like, what, she not yelling? She not cussing me out? She not acting a fool? What? And then y'all can break those barriers of the clashes of the titans. So it's going to take some time, but I've learned that the more I get along with him, the more we thrive as
the world is a better world.
Absolutely.
It's a better world. Like I said, I'd like to thank you and Ryan for coming out, Ramona and Ryan for coming out. Thank y'all for coming. Make sure y'all keep rocking with the Outlet platform. Make sure y'all, check out all the social medias, click the links, and continue to rock with the Outlet platform. Thank you.